We have two special guests. It's another episode of Competitive Corner, and we've got Ash and HWK from the Chainsword channel. Man, I follow you guys' work. I've been watching you guys' videos in France. I have the auto translate on there. I love you guys' work. So just Ash and HWK. So tell us a little bit about. So maybe you could just give us real fast your history in wargaming. Just how did you guys find this hobby in just wargaming?
It's been a really long time, and we mostly play Warhammer 40k for most of the time for about 20 years. And lately, we think that 40k is not a good game anymore. Mm-hmm. So we're getting bored by the game system. It's too complicated, it's too heavy, and we simply don't have time to buy new things every 2 months. So it's just we can follow the path. So we try to find a new game, and we found OPR, which is really better than 40k, and we stick on it for 2 years. Okay, that's almost everything. We play 40k for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th edition, and we almost stop playing when the 8th goes out, because it's just too many things to remember, and we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
During a long time, we know that there is a problem with 40k, but we cannot say what problem exactly. Mm-hmm. We have in mind that there is so much competition, so much games, but this is the first community in France. If you want to play with
models,
if you want to play with models, you have to play at 40k.
Yeah.
But this is not exactly because we don't like it.
No, the thing is we don't have fun anymore.
Voilà.
And that's a huge problem, because when you play a game, you want to have fun. It's not supposed to be a pain in the ass, and it starts to be a pain.
Playing a game, not paying the bills. So you need to have fun.
Yes. Yeah, I think you echo how I felt, where I think I got out about 6th edition. I give you guys, I've heard about 8th edition just being a real roughy one, and then I tried 9th edition, and that was just and then I tried 10th. I'd heard good things about 10th, and I think I echo what you want to say, which is, for me, and I think for you, 40k just isn't fun. Like, maybe some people enjoy it, and I think that's great. It's just, and that's what it's all about. It's about having fun. And I like how the two of you phrase that. It's, if you enjoy 40k, great, but for us, I would say all three of us, it's just not fun. So we turn to one-page rules. So maybe just quickly, give us some things you like about one-page rules. What sort of drew you to this game?
Alternate gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First of all,
mainly, it's not you play, I play. That's a better way to play. I mean, when you think of the most played war game in the world is chess.
Yeah.
And when you play chess, you don't wait for an hour that the other player play all
turn-based game.
Yeah, and that's the main reason we stopped playing 40k, because it's not funny to wait for an hour that the other player finish playing everything before you can do something. That's not funny, and that's the first point. And then too many rules, just too many rules. I mean, and we are aware that almost everyone plays 40k, but when you think of it, that's just because you play 40k because everyone plays 40k.
Yeah.
So you're prisoner. And when you see the light, over the windows, you say, wow, there is so many games I didn't think about.
Yeah.
And there's just better games,
Yeah.
funnier games.
But in the mind of the common players, there are different games. So it means that if it's different, what can I do I can play because it's different. No, same models,
Yeah.
same mesure, voilà.
Yeah.
Same bases,
Yep.
And same dice.
Yes.
and
Yeah, that matters. That matters. I agree.
and,
I agree. I hate the specialty dice stuff. I think that's.
and 3 rules.
Yep. Yeah. No.
Because, quite frankly, who wants to pay every 3 months for more paper just to be able to keep the pass? We don't have time, and it's too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather spend my money to buy new models than just a pile of paper.
And it's not an ecological way of life.
Yes. Well, so one, we're going to talk about OPR, but I want to know, so one, I really enjoy your channel. I love your personality. You just are so, I think you guys have such insightful content, but you're also very entertaining. And I think I love that combination. I think, I think I get, I am auto translating, but I'm pretty sure I'm picking up the gist. And that's the reason I wanted to have you on, because I'm pretty sure I get what you guys are saying from the auto translate, but I want to make sure. I want to sort of make sure that I want to clarify with us that this is what we're saying. But real quick, what made you want to start a YouTube channel? How did this sort of come about?
Just because it's funny.
Because we want to make money.
Absolutely not. No, just
Of course not.
Yes.
because it's funny.
Dan, you have to keep in mind only one thing. Think about fun.
Yes, that's right.
This is a way of life. You pass all your days to work, moments with your family, with guys you don't understand. Keep it fun.
Yeah, that's right.
And something else, there is plenty of YouTube channels about 40K, but there is just a few about OPR, especially in France. So we just think of it, and nobody does that. Why don't we try? And we have fun, and that's the main thing. And we can it's our personalities just put at 200%. He's the mean one, voilà, and the stupid one,
No.
which is the case in real life, but he's just not that mean, and I'm not that stupid. But because it's funny, he's really mean, and I'm freakingly stupid.
No, well, I have to say that, and that's something and I'm going to post links. I'm going to post links to all your YouTube. We're going to talk because I think your channel is so great. One, you've got personality. I think that you guys are funny, but also I've watched your stuff and it's very you really do dig into the weeds on some of the details. I think that when I know you guys have done a tier list, y'all have discussed some of the OPR settings. You guys are thinking about this game from a bit of a competitive sense. But I'm just saying a little more of a balanced sense. I feel you have that nice combination where you are providing, because I don't want to say you guys are a joke channel. I think that you guys are producing some really interesting thoughts and content on OPR. So yeah, maybe give us a little bit about the type of content that you produce, just to, go ahead. So what are y'all kind of focused on OPR? Yeah, I'll let you kind of speak about that.
We don't focus on a particular concept. When we thought that something could be interesting, we did it.
Yeah.
But we don't have plan.
There is something very important in that you said, because in my opinion, if we focus only or mostly on the competitive corner, we are going to alienate
to miss something.
Yeah.
It's not just a competitive game.
Just in the past few hours, we do a video, two videos concerning tournament players.
Just to explain that tournament players are not your enemies. They could be friendly sometime.
But you need tournament players to expand your community.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And you need to focus on competitive playing just to explain how the game works.
Yeah.
But that's not the main thing, just a tool to help people to understand how it works. But we don't consider ourselves a hardcore competitive player, which we are not.
We come from the hardcore competitive gaming from 40K.
Yeah.
And we have classmen in France, in Europe. We use T3 tournaments.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this website, T3.
I'm familiar with. Well, maybe not T3, but I am familiar with some of those. Yeah, kind of community rule. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Sort of a community rule set about balance. Yeah.
Okay. So in France, during years 2010 to 2020, there is much game in France organized from this platform, and then you can make a lot of tournaments, but there is a problem with the tournament players in 40K because they please excuse my English.
Yeah.
They try to exist without the community. They try to build a system only with other tournament players.
Yeah, I know what
you understand that?
Yeah, I know.
But you have to mix casual players with tournament players.
I don't know what is the proposal.
There is not a wall between competitive players and casual players.
That's right. Yeah.
How does it work in America? In Europe, for example, there is 80% of gamers. Okay. Nobody knows.
Yeah. Just casual players.
Just casual players.
That plays in their basements and everything goes well. But when it's about mainstream game like 40K, it's not a problem. Everybody's playing it.
Yeah.
But when it's a more confidential game like OPR, you have to talk about it because you want to play with different people and not always the same 4-1. So you have to make it more. I don't know the word. I'm sorry. Some advertisement for it.
Yeah.
So you can drag more players, and that's mainly because we started this channel. It's just because we want to meet more players than always the same.
That's why we don't want to freaking afraid.
To freak.
To freak.
To afraid. To scared. To scared.
We don't want to scare somebody because.
Yeah, that's right.
If we speak only about tournament or competitive corner, it's not the way of life of the majority of players.
But on the other hand, there is something I discovered recently. That's when you play competitively at OPR, it's just the best player win. When you play competitive at 40K, it's just about can you cheat without being catched? That's the thing. The rules are so overcomplicated that just bug exploit.
This is a political guy.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's not about the best player, it's about the one that's gonna find a bug and exploit it until he wins. And that's just not right. So we have pleasure to play competitively with OPR and so much more than when we play competitively at 40K.
Yeah.
Because it's just the best player, the rules are simple, and I'm more skilled than you.
Yep, that's right. Yep. And
sorry.
No. I think everything you've said, and I appreciate, like I said, I watch your videos, and I think that's what you guys are saying. But the and that's why I wanted to have you guys on. I feel that okay, I'm getting it. Like the translate is working. I'm what you guys are saying is what I think you are saying, which I think is really awesome, because it sounds like. So for one, would you agree that OPR is a little like chess in that it's a pretty tight game? As far as like skill cap goes, it is.
Yeah.
I feel it's a. I mean, how do you feel? Do you feel this game can be played competitively and the best player will win? I completely agree with that. First, so I want to say, so you've been at OPR for a while. How? This is my thought. OPR is sort of at this precipice where it's got to a point, right? We're starting to get on the map. But do you feel OPR should grow by continuing to do what it's doing? Or do you feel there needs to be some changes to sort of get, how do you, so how, I would say this, one, would you like OPR to be as big as 40K? And two, how do you think that OPR does that?
I don't think so, because that's always the same. I mean, if you buy a computer, you always buy Microsoft. Mm-hmm. And when you start playing war games, fantasy war games, the first thing you find is 40K. So I think it's OPR is for old guys like us, that plays 40K for years and that start being bored by 40K and find and look for something else. But I don't think it will be as big as 40K anytime.
It's difficult to look about something else when you don't know anything.
And there's more than that. That's most of the 40K players just talk about OPR as the war game for your little brother, because they think that a war game has to be overcomplicated to be a good war game, which is not the case. Yeah. So it's not easy at all to convince someone to switch from 40K to OPR. We try to, but quite frankly, we have a hard time to.
I completely agree with him, but my English is so worse, so I let him talk.
Mm-hmm. No. I mean, I would say it this way.
What we'd like to.
Yeah. Well,
we like OPR being bigger.
Yeah. Of course, because if we don't want, we are not here.
Just on a side note, just a few questions. How it is in America?
What's that? I'm sorry?
In America, do you play OPR a lot or not?
Oh, me? Yeah, I play just about every week. In fact, I do my tabletop simulator, but I've got a group that I've been playing OPR, and for me, it's growing. For a while there, it was just me, and then all of a sudden, we've got 4, 5, 6 people playing. And we're getting a combination of old players, but I'm also seeing brand new players come in. That encourages to me, because what I see is I also see some players who sort of want to get into Wargame, but they go and they look at 40K and they're just completely discouraged. And luckily they find OPR and they're like, oh, I want to play this game. And that's where I see some growth in OPR happening. That I think about this. How many wargamers are we losing who say, I want to start this hobby, and then basically see Games Workshop, see the prices, and just don't ever start the hobby? It's sort of like that player is just aborted. That's where I see OPR's real value, is actually bringing in players who just can't even afford to play, Games Workshop stuff. What about, how do y'all feel about that? Just, as actually, I see it as the new introductory game to war games.
I think you're right. If you think about it, between the time you buy your first new models for 40K and the time you can build them, paint them, and play with them. During this time, you have two new versions, $4 slates, and it's not the same game anymore. OPR is a more stable game. It's changed sometimes, but not that much. So if you like this game for what it is, you can start build an army and then play it a few months later. It's still the same game.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's easier to drag new players at OPR than in 40K. For me, it's easier for a new player to try this game than
That's right.
can do it if you want to try 40K. But it's always the same thing. If you look for a shop, the first one you're gonna find is the Games Workshop shop, and then we are not talk about OPR, of course.
Yeah.
So, and when you look at the YouTube channels, it's mainly about Games Workshop. So
we are also another subject with the number of the models you need to play.
Oh yeah.
Games Workshop, Citadel, 40K, you need
more and more models.
100 models
Every edition.
to try something interesting.
Yeah.
But in Grimdark Future, you need only 20 or 30 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, paper models. I mean, I would love to get people more involved. That's something I think OPR pushes a lot is paper models, which I would love to get new players in. Just, hey, start the hobby out for free. You know,
You can play with whatever you want.
yeah, like my goal is for OPR is to actually get brand new players into the hobby. People who would never play Games Workshop and would just say, but I'll play OPR because I can pay $20 to print a paper army and then one-page rules. So that's something I'm encouraged about as well. So let me get your thoughts. So one, I've listened to your work, and I think you guys have some interesting thoughts on some of the balance and the rule set. So one, how do you feel about the balance on OPR as far as the armies go? I know you guys have done a tier list as well. Maybe just give a brief overview about what you feel. Just if you could quickly sort of summarize your tier list in a, sort of talk to a little bit about your just overall thoughts about OPR as far as balance.
For us,
Yeah.
a work was done during the start of the year concerning the Robot Legend. They need to be rebalanced because, in my opinion, Robot Legends were too strong.
Yeah.
There is too much.
So
too strong.
I'm a Robot Legend player. So I know.
But sorry.
And after all, the game is going more and more balanced.
Yeah.
Even if we talk about the recently game changing.
To summarize, it's a good thing for a game to change sometimes. You need to have new rules, new units, and some rule change from time to time. But the last rule change we have, I don't get it. What do you do, guys? I mean, everybody knows that at OPR, the moral, it's not that easy. Moral rules are not that good. It's too punishing, and they need a rework. And they did a rework, and a very good one. But just after that, they say, "Oh, well, no, it's too complicated. Let's go back to the previous rules." And for me, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So, to summarize, yes, about the tier list, I don't think it's very useful for OPR because most of the armies are very well balanced.
It means that for us, build a tier list in OPR is quite different than build a tier list in 40K.
Yeah.
Because in 40K, you have an important difference between the first and the last.
The good armies and the shitty ones.
Well,
Yeah.
But in OPR, it's quite different. Of course, you have some lists like inquisitorial suites, or well,
It wasn't made to be
but between armies, there is no such big differences like in 40k.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah, I will agree with that. I think the scale, because I've done tier lists, but I do try to preface that I think there is a whole different level of scale. 40Ks imbalances are so much higher that I do.
Because you need to sell.
That's right.
Wells.
Hey, there you go. I'm not. Yeah, I mean.
The thing about the tier list is not which army is better than another one. It's which army is easiest to take in hands, to use for the first time. Because some armies are way easier to play than others, but they're not better. Just you need more skills to play some of them. That's the main thing about the tier list, which is not really a tier list. It's just this one seems to be easier to play. That's all.
I think it's a good.
You can make real tier list between the shitty armies and the over the top.
Yeah, I think that
There's no such things with OPR.
I think that is a good point. There are armies in OP that are a higher skill cap army. That I think that's a good assessment.
Like the human defense forces, you need to be a good player to well play the human defense forces. That doesn't mean it's not as good as the other one. It's just you need to be more skilled to play them.
So I wanted to get you guys on because I like getting people on with different opinions, and I know that I feel when it comes to the changes on 3.3, what I heard is that you guys, I feel like we actually disagree on this point, and that's why I wanted to have you guys on. I wanted you to talk about the other side. I was one of those people who were glad they reverted, but you guys didn't, and I think that's great. It's like, let's get people, we have different opinions. So what did you guys like about the 3 point? I can see where you guys are coming from. Tell us some of the things you liked about this changes in 3.3. Did you like the assault rule or the last stand? Were those some of those two rules that you feel were making the game better and that we sort of took a step back? Yeah.
We made a video of 15 minutes about that.
yeah, that's what I had. Yeah.
It's the mean one. No, about last stand.
I was so angry about that.
About last stand, I think it's a way better rules than the previous one because it's create game. You can play. It's not as punishing as the previous one. You can always do something with the new rule that you can't with the previous one. And that's because I think it's a mistake to put it in the advanced rules. Because all you want when you play a game is do things, not just I can't do anything for a whole round, and that's just too punishing for me. It's my opinion. I used to play other games like Bolt Actions, when the mobile rules doesn't work the same way, but you can always do something with your units, even if they are not as efficient. I don't know, but you can still do something. Just being able to do just nothing, for me, it's not a good rule. That's because I was a little bit angry when they take last stand in the advanced rules.
You have to keep in mind that if you want a game balanced, you need to attribute the right points cost to the right rule.
Yeah.
So, if you want to create a new rule, like last 10,
You have to change the point cost.
you have to change the point cost.
Yeah.
So, if you do that, you always doing better than before.
Yeah.
But if you choose to take last stand away in the advanced rules,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
and change the point cost, you fucking break the game.
Yeah, it's a one.
I agree.
It-
For the assault rule, I mean, it's not that interesting in my opinion. So it doesn't matter that they put it in the advanced rules, but that's not the same for the last level.
Think about Dreadnought, Destroyers, and other.
Well, it's funny because they put them optional, but actually I've been the last couple of games I've been playing with Last Stand and Assault, and I like the rules. Like I know the Assault rule got changed to full charge because I know they didn't just that when they actually put it in advanced rules, they tweaked it so that now the Assault rule is your full charge move, and I like those rules. Like I'm of the opinion that I do like them as actually you make a good point, which is that how do we have advanced rules that without changing point costs? And I think that's why I wanted to have you guys on, because it's an interesting conversation that I think you guys bring up some good points that after playing it a couple of times, I do like both the Last Stand and the Assault rule in its new form. I didn't like the Assault rule when it was just half, but now playing it full move, it does feel like there is a little more tactical depth to it. I don't know. That's an interesting question, and I think that's a great thing. We don't have to have all the answers in this. We can just. That's what I'm all about. I think that there's so many unanswered questions that I want to get conversations going. So let me ask you, what other changes would you like to see in OP? Is there anything that you would like to see in OPR as far as changes go?
Well, as for me, the core rules are good as they are. The core rules are good. I don't think they need a big change. Most of the time, we don't use advanced rules because the core rules are good as they are.
Yeah.
So
Only for narrative games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, I don't like some of the advanced rules because that's too close to 40k. I mean, like the command points.
Well, command points.
I don't think it's a good thing. And in English, it's état d'alerte. When you can shoot on people that charge you.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Overwatch, not Overwatch or
Overwatch.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I got out of 6th edition
to play it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong, but as for me, the core rules are enough.
Yeah.
Concerning tournament games.
Concerning, ça veut dire que tu l'inquiètes.
About tournament games only. We try to keep balanced between the tables, and if you want to make something new by the adding of some special rules,
Yeah.
you create a risk of unbalanced
Yeah.
table, and on a round you have two players with not the same treatment as two others.
Yeah.
So in tournament games, in organized play, you need to keep it secure, equal.
Yeah, I agree.
But quite frankly, we started to play OPR 2 years ago, and we almost never play advanced rules, which means that we play very specialized units. There is a way we learn to play the game, which makes that we don't need advanced rules. Maybe it's a mistake because more is not a bad thing.
No.
But maybe we should try playing another way that we usually do. And maybe we're gonna find that advanced rules are funny too. But for now, it doesn't match with the way we play.
Well, yeah.
I'm perfectly aware that it's just us. Maybe it's a mistake. It's probably a mistake. But I don't know. Maybe we look for a simple game, and we don't want to be in the same mistakes that 40k does with too many rules. Just if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But I can perfectly understand that you think another way, and that's a good thing. But quite frankly, I don't feel that I can speak about the advanced rule because we don't play them most of the time.
And you know why?
Sometimes when we play with another player from somewhere else, we play advanced rules, and it's not that bad.
We tried them during a tournament 1 month ago, and in Avignon, another city of us, and in France, and we traveled during 3 hours to go and 3 hours to come back.
You know that it's American 3 hours, it's nothing.
France is like one of those
very
states.
small country.
It's a one state in your country. So we travel a lot only to play with other gamers, to meet another meta. And then we try advanced rules.
And it was funny.
It was funny.
Quite frankly.
But no.
Maybe we should try.
I win the game.
Yeah.
But
I win the game.
You win, but I win also more games. Advanced rules create difference between players because it's difficult for me to explain it in English, but I'm going to try. During the first game of the first day, my opponent was an Orcish player, and in the first round, we have a special rules that you
can shoot. You can shoot. You throw dice.
You throw dice, and then if you have 1, 2, or 3, it creates an effect on one of your units, and this effect says you can shoot with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember that I play Robot Legion. So
you like shooting.
First round, my first unit can shoot. Then I throw another dice. You have to throw as many dice you have unit on the table.
Oh man, yeah.
I have 3 units. This is my first turn, so I placed only units who can shoot.
Yeah.
And all the 3 units can shoot because of the special rules.
Still, you win the game.
Yeah, of course I win it. But
so you have nothing to complain. But I get it. It's not very fit for competitive rules.
And well, let me. Yeah.
I think we should give it a try because it adds more freshness to the game.
Well, I think, I'm sorry for interrupting. You guys are saying things that just are hitting. I get excited when you guys talk because I'm sorry for interrupting at times because I feel like you are saying things that I completely agree with. And that is, so I get, that's my apology. Sometimes I get excited because I think you guys are talking, like, you're talking my language, which is, I love the basic game. For me, the basic rules, there's so much tactical depth. There's so much, because the game is so much decision making, I only really play. Now, we've been trying the assault rules and the last stand, and that's fine. I don't mind them. But before that, really, I've always played the basic scenario and the basic rules. And for me, the replayability is so great because it's all about decision making. It's not about, here is my army, and I'm going to do the exact same thing every game. In all the games of OPR, because it's it's so intensive about in decision making. So I'm agreeing with you. Like I don't feel all these advanced rules or these the game is super solid. And not that I'm against it. I agree we can try some other rules here and there. I have been putting some rules forward more for balance, but those are things that I really just want to sort of test. I've said it before, I could play these rules and not like them anyway. And I could, go ahead. I'll let you talk.
Before your next question, I want just say one thing concerning OPR. Keep in mind that, in my opinion, of course, at OPR, it's the player who wins the game, not the dice.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with you then. You can play the same game with the exact same armies against the exact same player time and time and time again, and it will never be the same game.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right that you never get bored. Mm-hmm. Because you never take the same decisions. You never take the same decisions too. So it's always a different game.
Yeah, I agree. So, I would love to have you both of you back on. Like I could talk for hours, but we are going to time box it just because, I want to have you guys back because I love what you guys. I think you guys are saying a lot of great stuff. Let me ask you about so I'm a big custom armies guy. How do you feel about custom armies in competitive play? Do you think we should really push for the official armies to be more balanced if we even need balance? Or how do you feel about custom armies in competitive play?
It's a trap!
It's a trap?
It's a trap!
Remember, he's the mean one.
No, that's fine. You can disagree. It's okay. Yeah, that's
I believe this.
He's leaving. Never get back. I'm joking.
No. And that's a great thing I love because there are some things that
once again, quite frankly, there is more than 20 different armies in the game.
Yeah.
And I until now never feel the need to dig in the custom armies. But well, why not? The editor is pretty well balanced, and that can add some new things in your game. So there is a friend of us that starting to build a custom army, and when he finished design, I hope that I can play against it and see if it's good or not. So why not? It can. No. I'm not joking.
No, I can't disagree, and that's why I wanted to have you on.
I am the nice guy.
Political guy.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
So why not? And it's a good thing that you have an editor, list editor that is very well balanced, and you can do whatever you want if you think it's funny. For the competitive games, I don't know.
Okay.
It could be complicated. If you play with guys that you play with every week, why not? If you play with guys you don't really know, it could be more complicated.
Well, fair enough. That's great. No, and that's
This is our thing.
Yeah, I think that is great, and that's why I feel you. That's why I like you. I think there are some things that, listening to your work, we agree and disagree on, but that's why I wanted to have you on. And so if y'all don't agree with it, so tell us. I want to hear the mean version. So how do you feel about? Because let's get it out there. Hey, how do you feel about custom armies? Yeah, go ahead. It's okay.
It's like that every day.
No, that's great. I love it. Go ahead. Yeah.
We need.
Can you feel the pain?
No.
Yeah.
This. Remember. This is a game. It don't pay the bills. You have to have fun with it. And if your way of life is to create something new with rules that you heard they were balanced, try it. Why not? If you find gamers like you to play with, good for you. But in organized play, in tournaments, in my opinion, it's quite impossible.
Okay.
Yeah. That depends of many things, but yeah, we are well, yeah, and
With an army, we slow, like Robot Legion. What qui m'empêche? What sort of thing can prevent me to create a new unit with fast, with another rule doesn't exist in the basic rules?
Yeah.
It balance. I pay the cost for that, but my army doesn't have it. So if I want to play with fast or anything else, play another army.
Yeah. I get you. Okay, and that's good. It is, and I think that's a good thing because, I mean, for me, I would say this. I like the idea of custom armies competitive, but I do think there needs to be a balancing factor where, and that's why when I create custom armies, I always tell people we need to test it. Like, in other words, I eventually see, because this is my thought. I know I've heard some people say some armies, they just aren't fun. Like I did recently Jackals, and a lot of players just felt the Jackals army wasn't that fun. And one thing I try to do is to make an army not just super broken, but also, like, I feel, make it a little funner. But I always say this, in an ideal sense, I would love it if the official armies, I feel there is a little more power imbalances, and I would love to see those come a little closer. And the way I see about doing that is through custom armies. But I definitely get your point. I think that it is a hard thing to implement, and but that's a great thing. You know, that's why I want to have you guys on. And I want to have you guys on again because I think we need different voices. You know, it's not, you know, and I wanted to have you guys on because there are some things that we agree on, some things we disagree on. And that is great. It's great to have people come in here and give it. Again, we can talk all day. Is there any last thoughts that you guys want to talk about OPR in general? And I'll give you guys the floor to just anything that you guys want to talk about.
Excuse me, then. I don't understand anything. Can you repeat, please?
He was busy doing something else.
Oh,
Yes, you are.
No. Well, look, I appreciate it. If anyone, so we're going to post your channel. Can you tell us where people? I'm going to post your description. But is there anything that you guys have going on in the future? What plans do you have to do with the Chainsword channel?
We are gonna keep the same path. So
have more fun.
You know you're very loud.
Pussy.
And rude.
No, it's yeah, go ahead, guy.
We don't have plan. If you think about something that's entertain us ourselves, we're gonna make it. That's as simple as that. So battle reports and him being angry and faction reviews, but we don't really think about it. Sometimes we have another idea, so we try it, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Voila.
On this channel, we want to speak about something we like, and we try it. We try to speak about some things we like. We don't have the truth.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
We don't have the truth. And we just want to speak with another guys like you, of course. And we thank you so much to have this conversation together. I have also seen your home channel, and it's very interesting, your discussions around the organized play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I need to work a little hard on it because it's difficult for me to do something and hear you, I need to. Listen to you.
The words.
When I'm modeling something, I can just hear you. I need to listen to you, and you get the point on the tournaments, organized play, and players who want to develop more and more this game. In France, I don't know what exactly the situation is in America, but in France, there is not so much players.
No.
It's difficult for us to develop something, so we need to build a channel on it, and it helps, maybe. It's easier for us because, as we said, there is no other channels to...
Yeah, that's right.
There is some others too, mainly two other chat channels, but...
Only concerning Opera, we are the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Just, if you allow me a second, can you say truth again, please? Truth. That's what I mean. You sound Russian. that's pretty weird.
Mother Russia.
You're French, you speak English, and you sound Russian.
Amazing.
Why not?
Amazing.
Please. So we're gonna have. I would love to have the two of you back on. Chainsword. I'm gonna post the links. Go check out the YouTube channel. Now, do you have any other social media? Is it just the YouTube, or do you have a Twitter, or is any Facebook? Okay.
And Discord.
And Discord. Okay.
Not Twitter, because it's...
We are boomers.
We're not too old for this shit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll post it. Check them out, the Chainsword channel. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and I appreciate the conversation.
Thanks to you.
Thank you.